Probably going, where is the crazy old guy today? Out in the shed, looking around, moving some around, working on a couple things. Gonna try to build a little table here using this countertop, the piece that I got off of Marketplace. I built a cabinet system out in the garage with the other piece. It was an L-shaped countertop in a kitchen. So this is the other piece. So my idea here is to build a couple boxes on each end, connecting across, and then connect those boxes also to the studs in the wall here. And then we're going to fasten this on top, just to use this as a little place where, you know, can work on stuff, use for potting and stuff like that, since I do a lot of gardening. Also going to come down on the frame too and build across a shelf so far down, I don't know, 8-10 inches, and so I can put like all pots and stuff like that for doing like potting plants and so forth. So let me figure, I gotta do a couple of measurements. Just wanted to come in and show you what we're gonna do. Don't know if we're gonna get this all done today, probably get it started, get some of it done, and probably finish tomorrow. So let me take a couple measurements and do a little figuring here, and we'll see what we got. Okay, so I've cut my boards down, I've started putting them together. Got a couple different screws I have here. These are 2 1/4 number 10 Torx construction screws. I'm using a couple of those, and then I'm going to go back with some 2-inch number 8 construction screws on the opposing angle. I'm just taking simply, doesn't have to be beautiful here, just going toenailing them in up and then down in here to give it a good bite. Just squaring it up and just simply simple toenail. So just again, toenailing. These boards have been used before, so I'm trying to go around existing holes, and it's not the easiest thing to do. So there you go. That was easy. No one. So again, we'll come down here, we'll do the same thing. Now it's a little bit better. So there you got our basic square. So we're gonna go back here and put a couple more in, and then we're gonna do another square just like this on the other side, and then we'll connect them across, and then we'll fasten that top that we were looking at earlier. Actually, I'm gonna take on this side, I think on this side that's gonna be near the studs. I think I'm gonna drill a longer screw through there just to hook them into the studs to make it a little more sturdy. So let me get those other screws in here, and we'll come back in a second. So you can see I've got my 2 boxes put together, and I went in and slid them in here and put them on the top. So basically that's all it's going to be. I'm going to come back here. We're going to square this up here this way and against the stud, and I'm going to take some 3.5 inch number 8 construction screws, and we'll put them into the studs here and back here, and that's going to give it some strength too. I'm not going to put anything on the floor. I don't really like to put stuff into the floor. I think once we get a couple of those against the stud, it's going to square it up. I will come back later and make a connection across here, the board here and on the back, to connect these 2 together, and that's going to be where I'm going to create a shelf, just a piece of plywood up there, just to be able to put things on there, like I said, pots and stuff like that. So yeah, and then I'll come back too, and we'll take with some smaller screws and we'll take and come back here and we'll toenail this into this particle board underneath the Formica here, just to connect it to it so it doesn't slide around or move. So let me go back out and grab some of those other bigger screws, and we'll go ahead and we'll square this up and get that put against attached to the stud there. So we got here, these are 3.5 inch number 10 construction screws. We're going to use those to attach into the studs down here, and then we'll come back with these number 8 1.25 inch construction screws to toenail into the countertop. So basically, where did I put my drill? Alright, kind of helps. So what we'll do here is we're going to take and use the square to make sure it's square up and down. I'm just going to butt it up against the stud here, so I'm not going to worry about that, but I'm going to kind of come in here and make sure this is square to the floor. Not the easiest thing to do. It's pretty close. It's pretty close right there. This is going to be fun. Oh, I'm going to go across here. Do this one in here. Pretty darn close right there. I'll do the same thing up here. We'll check it up here. But I think that's really close. I think this is out a little. Actually, that's pretty damn close right there. It looks like it's out a little, but it's not. It is out a little. There we go. That's pretty close right there. It looks like it's not. There's the help. What are you doing? What you got? You got your ball. You got your ball. Yeah. That's a little off there. I just don't think the floor, I think, has a little bit of a tilt to it. Go up there. Yeah, I think we're gonna go with that. Could check it with a level too. I might come back and check out the level. I'm gonna go put this in. Oops, left hand, not for that. There, see what a difference that makes. And again, later on we'll be attaching this to that. I'm not going to just leave this as 2 boxes just to attach to the studs. That's not going to work. But if it gets it, you know, in place and holds it there till I get that attached later on and build that shelf across, and that'll strengthen it up too and put these together. But I'm not going to worry about it being attached to the floor. I don't think I'm going to get it once I put the 2 together. So I'm going to get my level and check this just to make sure it's pretty level. But I think we're going to go with that. We'll get that, we'll come back, we'll check that, we'll see how it looks. We might have to take this out and adjust it, but for that, I don't think it looks too bad. So let me grab the level and we'll check that. So we go back here, check the level. Everything's fairly level, pretty close. Again, the building isn't very level on the piers it's on, so I think it's going to be off a little bit, but this is a little off, but I'm not going to worry about this. I still have to adjust this out. I'm just fastening that. So I have this back here squared to the floor and square to the top. So I'm going to go ahead and attach that other back board to the to the stud with the 3.5 number 10s, and I'm just squaring it up with the actual stud back there. And then I'm just going to drive these guys in there. pretty good. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I think we kept it pretty square. Yeah, that's right on there. Too damn close on the top section. Like I said, this is still gonna move because it hasn't been connected together, but once we do the connection across, we'll square that out and connect that, and that'll tighten this up so it doesn't move. And then we'll check on trueness going up and down. I think I am still gonna go ahead and square this. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait till we cut the board. It goes across here where we're gonna put the shelf. So I'm gonna wait till we get that cut and put in. Yeah, and that way we can square it up, and then we'll fasten the top on. Again, using the 1 1/4 onto the Formica piece here, and that should secure it pretty good. But now it's up against it's on the Raptors. I mean, these are going to move, but this isn't going anywhere. It's going to move a little, but it's not going anywhere because again, those are 3.5 inch number 10s that are into that 2x4. That stud, you know, a good, 2 inches. So, yeah. So that's. Yeah, I'm good with that. Again, it's nothing but something to be able to sit there and take and stand here, and work on something, working on, like I said, do a lot of garden stuff or potting stuff and everything. So that's all the purpose it serves. And again, this is just something I bought off Marketplace. Doesn't have to be that great. You're gonna have a rough edge here, but we're out in the shed, who cares? And we'll probably take this and move it over just a little bit before we secure it. I don't have it sticking out towards the, catching on the corner over there. So, yeah, I think that's what we're gonna go with. I think that's pretty good. And again, it's all right up flush against I want to keep it flush against the studs. I will later on, I haven't, probably down the road, we're gonna go back and insulate everything. But that's down the road, so I'm not worried about that right now, but I could still access that and do that if I need be. So yeah, that's where we're at for now. I think we'll come back tomorrow and we'll cut that board going across down here for the shelf. We'll cut that board and put it in here. Again, probably gonna come down, I don't know, probably gonna come down 8. Yeah, probably gonna come down 8 inches, because that'll be about here. And that gives me plenty of room to go put, well, forgot my trash can. That might get have to go somewhere else. No. Yeah, that's gonna go somewhere else. Well, I got 6. Now I'm thinking about this. Well, I don't know. And like then counted for that, that just has to get moved somewhere else. Really want to be able to put all my, what I do is when I mix up potting soil, I mix up different soils for like make indoor plants, outdoor hanging plants, and then stuff that I'm actually putting in the ground, stuff I put in the garden. So I have buckets and I want to put them under here, and they're all just out here. So that's really what it's going to work on. So that way I'm working on, I can also access it while I'm here, bring it up to the top. So yeah, we'll get back to this a little bit later or tomorrow, and we'll do that shelf thing, and we'll get everything put together and secured. Okay, we're back at it here today at the little desk build here out in the shed. Like I said the other day, we got the countertop put on top. We got these boxes built, just a couple squares made out of ripped down 2x4s. Taken those and secured them against the studs in the back, through the back part of the box with 3.5 inch number 10 construction screws, so that kind of firms everything up. And this is basically, it is sitting here, but I did take a couple little screws just to hold it in place. That's what I'm going to use to attach it with, and squared it up to make sure we could get a good measurement for our board that's going to go across here. And just we're going to take this board here, and I'm going to rip this down in half, because it really didn't have to support a lot of weight. There's never going to be much weight on this, maybe 5 to 15 pounds top. So I'm going to use a couple of these little L brackets. Just going to mount those up here and secure them with some 1 1/4 number 8 construction screws, and put that on there, and then that'll just secure again onto this side of the board that I'm going to rip down, and that's going to give our base where we can mount on both sides and put our plywood across. So I'm going to take this out to the table saw set up front, and I'm going to rip this down and cut it to size 33 1/8, and we'll come back and we'll get these put on. We'll get the brackets put up here, and we'll start getting this thing put together, and that way we can come back and attach this and get it secured. So let me go get that set up, and we'll get these cut down. Okay, you can see we got the boards ripped down. In typical wood you buy at the store, it's got a nice little bow in it, so they're not perfectly straight, but that's not a big deal. Again, here you can see, look like if we're building rocking chairs, we're all set. But that being said, we're going to take these brackets, we're just going to place them on the end. I'm just put another one up against just to make sure I'm not overhanging, square it up, and then I'm just going to kind of eye it up. Again, this doesn't have to be perfect. And then we're going to come back with these small little, I think these are 1/2 inch screws, and we'll just take and put those in here to hold these on. That's worked pretty good. Just straighten it out. Again, we're not overhanging, so I'll check on that with. Throw another one in here. Wasn't thinking when I cut the board down that I gonna need shorter screws, so I had to go through the random leftover hardware, which I have tons of. So there we go, there's one. I'll flip this over, same deal on the other side. We'll just put that there, kind of line it up, make it centered, looks fairly straight. Come back here again, moved a little on me. Sucker moved a little bit. Kind of slid on me a little bit. That's fine. Don't worry about that. Come back with another one here. We have our L brackets on there like such, and then we're going to come back down here, and I have this marked where I want it to go. We'll go ahead and line this up. I have marks here where I want the board to go, so we'll line that up. Forgot to bring a clamp around. I think I might go get a clamp just so I can hold this in place. Just don't want it to slide down. I didn't bring my clamp out. I think we might still be able to go. Let's switch out the bits. See if we can do this. Go back to the Torx. We'll go back to those 1 1/4" number 8 construction screws. That's why we needed a clamp. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to go grab my clamp because this is just going to want to roll on us, and we'll get that put back on there. I'm going to go grab one of those real quick. Just leave that hang there. So you got the clamp on there. That's going to make it a lot better. This isn't going to want to spin over, hopefully, like it was before. Come back and put the other one in the other part of the bracket. Should I do this left-handed? Not real easy. This left-handed drilling is not easy. All right, there, that's solid. So we can take this. I think I'm just going to take this clamp and move it a little and put it back on. I'm pretty close to right where I need to be. I'm just going to take that, put it back on. That'll hold it in place. We'll get another screw and we'll just put that other screw up on the top, and then we should be set to put that, take that clamp off and put the second one in. Clamp kind of gets in the way though. So if we can do this without using the clamp. Yeah, there we go. Grab one more of these guys. Put this in here. There you go. So that gives us our first support in the front. We'll duplicate the same process in the back. And then we'll come back and we'll cut our pieces of plywood to size, and we'll attach them with probably some more of these little screws to here, and that should give us our little shelf. In turn, same thing like I talked about before. We don't have this drilled into the floor, but now that we've got this on here, you can see that, oh yeah, it's going to look unstable because it's just loose still, remember? So that just gives it more stability. So once we add the one in the back, that should kind of tighten this all up, and we're not really going to need that really tighten it or screw to the floor like I talked about first time. So let me go ahead and well, I'll duplicate this one, so I'm going to watch that again. We'll get that one secured back there, and then we'll get our plywood cut to size. I did find a couple pieces of plywood. I got so much scrap plywood around here. A couple half-inch sheets of plywood. This one I didn't have to cut. It's just about perfect. Maybe a little. No, it's about right. So I'm gonna put this. I put a couple screws in here. Just gonna screw it down. Can't put a drill in here, so I'm just doing it with the manual. And so I'm just gonna come back here, add one here. I have another section here that I found a piece left over. So we're gonna come up here, and I'm just gonna square it up off of here in the front. And then we'll take and just mark that. Take this piece is out. This piece is the square. So, no, that's not very square. That's all right. We'll go ahead and mark it. We'll cut it to size. We'll bring it back, and we'll get that piece on there too. Put another screw in here. I don't think I'm going to worry about the back. And again, that's going to help to do even firm it up a little bit more. Let me get this measurement from here to here, and then we'll take this out to the table saw up front, and we'll get this cut down to size, come back, and we'll get this connected. Okay, you can see we got the other piece of plywood cut, and they're gonna have a little seam in here. They're using two pieces, but I might just go back and put a little piece back under here and screw it on, just keep them even if I feel like it. I doubt it, seriously. This has got just a little bow in it. Again, it's just going to be, you know, basically this kind of crap going on here. All the stuff from doing gardening stuff, you know, going like up here and sitting up here. So we're not looking for any type of perfection or strength wise, you know, it's pretty light duty. Again, now that we got the shelf and everything, you can see the difference and everything. There's really no give to it. So that's what we're looking for without even connected to the floor, which it's still pretty solid this way. Yeah, and basically just using the old wood that I had for another project, you know, ripped it down, tore it apart, just put it back together. Again, like using the construction screws because it's easy to pull a thing apart and you can reuse stuff like that. And they're sturdy and strong, give you a sturdy hold. Yeah, that's kind of what we had going on. And again, the whole project, you know, all the wood's being reused, but I mean, if you counted what it was worth, it's probably, you probably got maybe $10 of wood in here, maybe. The countertop, when I bought the two pieces on Marketplace, I think I paid 25 bucks for it, so I might have 10 bucks in that. So that's pretty much it. Just to be able to sit here and just be able to stand and work like a workbench, or like I said, like a potting bench for working, you know, standing here is basically to serve the purpose. Yeah, it's just a simple little project to do. Later on, or I'll just kind of show you around it there a little bit. You can see going around. There's the countertop. See, I got a bunch of crap on it already. There's underneath the shelf. Yeah, so there we go. And that's it. So, push back down there. Yeah, just so we do a little gardening work-wise out here in the shed. Simple little thing to do. Maybe took me, with cutting things down, putting things together, might have taken me total time, probably about an hour and 15 minutes. And again, that's stopping and starting a lot, doing a couple other things. So, yeah, there you go. If you like watching the video and everything, enjoyed it, and give me a thumbs up, help me out. You click that down below. If you like the channel, like watching, got upcoming stuff. Later on, we're going to go back through and I'm going to come over here and remove some of these light duty shelves. And we're going to build some solid shelves in here with, probably going to, again, the same thing, ripping down. They never contain much weight. I mean, those shelves maybe have 30 pounds distributed among each section. So we're going to build some with the rip down 2x4s again. Oh, and again, like we did here, we're going to connect them to the studs and put those over there and remove these light duty metal shelves, just something sturdy and stuff like that. And then down the road too, out here in the shed, we're going to come back later on. We're going to insulate these walls, put a vapor barrier on there, because these buildings don't have a wrap on the outside. You don't want any condensation to accumulate in between from the heat differential, and you know, get mold and stuff behind the drywall, behind the insulation. So we're going to do that. That's just one of our other projects out here. Got a couple other things. I'm probably going to create some things up above and the rafters up here. So you can take a lot of this wood you see I got here. So when I insulate, it's all in between the studs now. It'll go up there and slide up there. So that'll be another little thing we're going to work on in here. That's just some shed projects. I got a couple more in here. This is going to be wired later on, like I said in another video, with my solar panel, a charge control, and inverter. So this will be standalone. It has an extension cord going out now back to the house. That'll be eliminated. This will be standalone with a lithium-ion battery and everything. Because they don't use that much power. The most power I use is maybe using a power tool, something like that, and that'll easily run off a 2,000 watt inverter. So if you do, it'd be good. Hit that subscribe button. You can kind of see and follow along and watch what we do out here in the village. If you have any questions or suggestions, put those down below, and I'll try to answer those. You know, how'd you do this? What you do this? Here's a better way to do it, because we're all trying to learn from each other. So thanks for joining, folks, and we'll catch you on the next one.